Hello and welcome back to another installment of the Outdoor Kitchen series. Today we are talking tile. We're talking the pretty stuff, the Instagrammable stuff, the stuff that'll get you the oohs and the ahs. But don't get me wrong, we are gonna get our hands dirty. Maybe not as dirty as my mustache, but you'll have to stick around to the end to find out. Thanks for joining. Without further ado, let's get to mixing. Getting ready to do the fun stuff, the pretty stuff, laying the tile. But first we have to find the center of this 114 and a half, 57 and a quarter. Close enough. So what I did is I took the center line, lined up the tiles in the center on the top just to get an idea of how they would end. And this piece is so small, so what I think I'm gonna do is shift everything so the middle is in the middle of one of these tiles, so then we're not wasting too much. So now I got it lined up with the center of the tile. We're using this 1/8 inch spacers, and as you can see, we'll have almost a full tile on each end of our kitchen. For the tiles vertically, we got 37 and a half. So I think we're gonna start with a full tile on the bottom. Cool, so we'll only have to cut off about 2 inches from the top tiles. So we mixed another batch of Thinset. We got our first and second tile laid down. We do wanna make sure, first tile is pretty important. Make sure it's level. So let's keep going. So you want to butter up your tile. Just on the back. Make sure it's going to stick. Nice and good like that. And here we go. Take your little spacers. These are 1/8 spacers, like I said. They're kind of leveling ones too. They have little discs on them. I'm using this trowel. It's got teeth on 2 sides, smooth on 2 sides. It's pretty handy. Wine cork handle. I could use a glass of wine. All right. Anything you can do, I can do better. Ooh. Cake. Wear shorts you can wipe your Thinset off on. All right, we got to make our first cut. So to cut this tile, I'm just gonna go ahead and temporarily put the spacer in there, hold it level, make a mark on the back, marks, and I'm just gonna cut on this side of the mark to make sure I'm below this counter. So we reached a little bit of a tricky point here. What we're gonna have to do is cut the tile in half and then etch out the hole for the PVC. Just gonna add a grout line. I think we'll be okay. So the pipe is right in the center of these two lines, so I'm gonna go ahead and split the tile in half and then go ahead and cut out the hole for the pipe. There we go. So now I gotta find out where my pipe is, so I'm just gonna go ahead and do that. If I had a marker that worked, I can kind of see the lines. So I'm gonna go ahead and transfer that line to the other tile. Shh. This marker's jacked. It's really horrible marks, but you can see we're gonna etch out that hole. Actually, it's gonna be a square. Let's see what we can do. Alright, so the easiest way to cut these is just to freehand it. I'm gonna cut slits all along this squared off portion, and I'm just gonna knock them out. Alright, this is what we got. Let's go ahead and knock them out. Alright. We got a hole that's hopefully big enough. Let's see. Now you're gonna have a little seam in between the two tiles, but there's really no avoiding it unless you run the electrical afterwards. So, you know, I don't think anyone will notice. You'll grout that seam, so it'll look clean still. I'd take a little bit more off that hole. So, there you go. That's how you drill a hole in the tile. So welcome back to another tricky cut. Problem is this wall and this kitchen island are not in line, so I'm cutting the tile at a slight angle. So this is the trick I'm using. I don't know if it's the best thing, but what I'm doing is I'm lining it up and then marking on this side where, God, I wish I had a marker that worked. I'm marking where my angle is. The problem is if I cut this side, I'm gonna have to put the cut side up against this tile. And then if I flip it, it's gonna be reverse what I want. So what I'll do is take this measurement and put it up here, take this measurement and put it down there, and then cut it. All right, let's go see if we didn't F it up. The tile. I'll show you the gap in a minute, but it's gonna be okay. So check it out. We got a slight, gap on the edge. What we're gonna do is just fill that with some grout. Should be fine. Got a little one down here too, but all in all, I'm pretty pleased. The final tile on this side, mother effer. All right, team, it's 5 o'clock. Put about 3.5, 4 hours of work in tiling the back of this outdoor kitchen. Spent a good amount of time keeping my tools clean, which is very important unless you want to burn through $5 buckets, which I did consider. If you can, do your project in the shade because because the sun really took a toll. I got some nice tan lines on my back, and my Thinset dried out a lot faster because it was in a dead heat. Measure twice, cut once. Get a marker that works on tile. That would be helpful. Next time when I do this, I think I'm gonna wear a rag or something because I use my shorts as a rag. So I guess, it's a good option. Inventory all your tools before you get going, just so you're not running around trying to find stuff while your Thinset is setting up. Had to do that 2 or 3 times. So phase 1 tile in the books. Join me for phase 2 side and front, which is a lot more cutting and a lot more fun. We'll see you on the other side. Dilly.